Hello. Yeah, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, we'll wait for another 5 minutes uh, to join everyone. Then we'll start the webinar. Okay, we'll wait for another 2 minutes. Then we'll start. Hello, everyone. How are you? Just someone unmute your mic and say, am I audible or not?
Sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay, okay. So, how are you, everyone? Yes, fine. We have 30 members now. And today's session is specially for the aerospace students. And we will talk about what are all the softwares we are using in the industry. And to the extent in our final year or in engineering sector. So, what are all the softwares we need to learn to be excel when you get into the industry? So, this is the main topic of today, and especially we are conducting for the final year students because I think so. You are doing now the projects related to some topics, and you are definitely using some softwares. So, this session will give you an overview on how you have to conduct your projects and what are some of the basic and high advanced level softwares you can use, learn, and get into industry. So today in this session I would like to welcome all of you, and I'll just share my screen and present you some idea through which you can be very comfortable to understand the topic. So I think this screen is visible to everyone. Hello?
It's visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So the software tools in the aerospace industry. So what, how, and when to learn. So basic idea of learning the softwares for our engineering students is to use them and to create some productive designs or productive components which is usable in our day-to-day life. So this is the main idea. And in our aerospace industry right now today, leave it from 2020 because 2020 and 2021, these 2 years has biggest hurdles in the industry. And in, let's say, from till today, we have worked and developed an excellent products in our aerospace industry. So as right from the beginning in the wing designs, we have developed everything to the high efficient turbojet engines, turboprop engines, everything. So when you get into the industry, and the main difference when you are a student and when you get into the industry is you are affected by many factors. So the first thing is, what is exactly the aerospace industry is doing right now. So in the last session also, some people who have attended the last session, they might be knowing what are all we have covered. So exactly. So in this session, the main basic principle in learning the engineering in the aerospace industry is too different when you get into some workplace or professional life. So the basic idea in this aerospace industry is to design, manufacture, develop, and to research on the products and some components which you can fit into the real life flying machines. So in your final year of engineering, actually many people are very confused about how to carry out the projects, and when they get out of the college they are very much confused to which domain we have to choose. So basically the engineering itself can be redefined as, the engineering is the branch or a study area in which we learn the concept, we learn the calculations, we learn everything, and we will apply to the real life models, and we will generate some usable models in the lifetime. So this is the basic idea. But nowadays what we are using, we are learning everything and we want to get some job kind of thing and we want to settle down. So there is, between the loophole is missing, that is the real model generation. So for that, the software tools are going to help you. So in this engineering final year, or maybe when you get into engineering, the main basic idea is the first and second year will be the common, and we will learn the some basic things. And next, when you get into third year and fourth year, we will be you will be very well versed to operate all the software tools, and you have to be champion in the concepts also. So here the software tools we are going to cover in today's webinar is some 2 and 3 3D and 2D modeling, product modeling softwares, and then we will cover how to analyze these softwares, and next we are going to cover one basic software, that is how to code the products to generate your required results. So basically I will start with my introduction. Myself, my name is Vaibhav V. Kulkarni. I'm an aerospace engineering, currently working on thermal analysis. and I'm an academic expert from 1.5 year. So I'll be taking up these software classes for the aero students who are in the final year, and will be helping to do the projects, and we will also guide the students to how they can excel in this professional career. So we will start with some basic software, that is the main overview of the industry today. So the main overview of the industry is, so there are some myths, like many people ask me, sir, we are doing the aerospace engineering or aeronautical engineering, so after that many people tell us there is no industry exposure and we won't get job. So the basic idea is in the student's mind is we won't get job. We have to prepare ourselves. I believe in everyone, everyone is special, and I tell everyone that you prepare yourself to fit into that job, isn't it? So if you are not giving 100% to your studies, and you are not giving 100% to yourself, you can't expect the companies or any other industry to welcome you. Okay, so in today's industry, there are a lot of hurdles, but these hurdles are very minimum, very minimum. So recent study from the International Civil Aviation Organization reported that after 2021, so in this December, after December, there will be a hike in the recruitment, and nearly about 68,000 pilots recruitment will be taking place all over the world, and about the 60 to 70% of the engineers who are very well versed in these software operating systems, they have very good exposure in the 2022 January upcoming industry. So for that you need to be very prepared, and when the opportunity comes you have to just grab it and grow. This is the basic idea. And in the aerospace technology, I told you, the design, construction, and testing and maintenance, these are four major pillars of the aerospace technology. And whenever you do or model the product design, you just have to analyze it and you have to construct. After construction you will be going for the testing methods, and in the testing and maintenance there will be a different part, and the design and construction there will be a different part. So basically design will be on the software modeling, and construction will be the hardware, and testing and maintenance are very much subjected to the rules and regulations of the International Civil Aviation Organization and other aircraft maintenance organizations. So this is equally balanced between the government organizations, such as in India we are operating DGCA, and for those kind of thing, the rules and regulations are there. And in 2020, so I told due to the pandemic all this is happening, so we will just um, pray that everything will be good in 2022. So the technology trend is very much improving now. After this pandemic, we were operating some product projects like the electrical vehicles. So now the booming technology is the electrical vehicles, because as you've seen, the rate of the fuel which we are using today is hiking day by day. So for that we are approaching to the electrical vehicles. So mainly the electrical aircraft is a newer technology, so that is already going in the Europe, but we need to implement that into India also. So a lot of the research is going on in the development of the electrical light aircraft, and in the vertical takeoff and landing aircraft using the battery system is also one of the booming technology. And in accordance with these projects, the India is also investing a lot of the capital into the unmanned aerial vehicles. So the last time you have seen, you might have read in the newspaper, or you might have heard about the news that in Kashmir some drone attack has happened. So to maintain all these security systems, um, we have the minimum approaches, such as, for example, we have net gun technologies. So how can you operate a net gun if the drone is operating from some 5 to 10 kilometers away? So that is the main disadvantage what we are having. You can give the net gun technology to only some meters of height. So what if the drone is operating from several kilometers? So everything, these type of researches are going on in the India. And next generation will be of fuel efficient engines. So some people might have seen the A320 Neo option. Airbus has prepared one aircraft model that is naming with A320 Neo. So Neo stands for new engine option. So how we can make these fuel efficient engines to reduce the cost of fuel, and we can increase the productivity. So these are the some main basic ideas. And as the generation goes on from today to next 10-20 years, there will be an inclusion of artificial intelligence into our industry. So this is very, very, very big booming technology, that is artificial intelligence. So today you can see in the home automation system how we can operate the home automation system. If you are going outside your home for several days, so you can operate your home using the cameras, using on the fingertips you can operate. So these are all some ideas that are related to the artificial intelligence. And currently, for example, I worked from last 2 months. I am working on one project which is intrusion detection system. So the main basic idea of the intrusion detection system is, let us say we have 2 to 3 drones in a chain, and some enemy drone is coming into the atmosphere and it is spoiling everything or stealing the information, something like that. So how we have to maintain and create a firewall or a security system to avoid all these malfunctions. So these are some project overviews. So over this you can get some idea how our industry is progressing. And the main thing we need to take care of is the maintenance cost. So we need to reduce the maintenance cost. For example, take an airport where our aircrafts are parking. So if our maintenance cost is reduced, so in the maintenance of aircraft it is done in mean time, so you can expect the earlier takeoff of an aircraft, so that you can reduce the amount of delay in the time and passengers can reach to the destinations easily and in the minimum amount of time. So this is how we can make the things possible. And next thing is, today we are considering three 2D and 3D modeling softwares. So let's get into these and just see the overview. So first thing is the Dassault system. So there are two very good known companies, software companies. One is Autodesk from USA and Dassault System from Europe. So this Dassault system is giving us two softwares, that is SolidWorks and CATIA V5. Anyway, Dassault system is giving a lot of softwares, but we are only interested in SolidWorks and CATIA V5. So these are two basic 3D and 2D modeling softwares. The main idea in using the SolidWorks, so I am especially telling to the final year students. So some people are very good who know how to operate everything when they reach the 4th year, and some people, if they don't have any idea of these softwares, there is no harm. Okay, so still you have time, very good amount of time, you can learn them in within 1 or 2 months. So the main basic thing is you need to be very good at 2D and 3D modeling, that is SolidWorks and CATIA V5. These are two models. And AutoCAD is also a very good 2D 3D software developed by Autodesk. So you can use that also to model. So in the next in this session when I progress, I will tell you how to model and everything. So next comes the ANSYS Workbench, CFX and Fluent. So whenever we are preparing a small model, let us say one pencil. So if you have modeled one pencil, so how it is working, you need to test it how it is working before you go for the production. So in this systematic engineering, we need to model a product and we need to test it before it goes to the production. So in the answers workbench, this thing is possible. So answers workbench, in that we are using CFX and Fluent, and many options are there. I will show you. So many options, by using them, we can analyze how our product is behaving. So let us say we have designed a airfoil section and we have just extruded to the 3D modeling of the airfoil. So it will become an symmetrical wing section. So before producing that wing section, so how the wing is behaving when you apply some load of 10 kilonewton on the top of it, so how it is deforming, whether it is reaching the fracture point or still something has to be added and modeled. So everything, these questions will be answered in the analysis. And the main important thing is, in our syllabus, as you are considering the university syllabus, whatever it may be, so the coding part is little bit, I think, very negligibly included. But when you get into the industry, the coding part is must and should, and everyone has to be at least a basic idea of coding. So for coding, we are using some MATLAB and Simulink, and both coding and simulations. So you can go for even Python or JavaScript. That comes into the CS background. But for our studies, we are not getting into deeper programming, but instead we are generating and producing some codes which can be used to get the required results in the aerospace industry. So this MATLAB and Simulink softwares is already included in the syllabus, but those syllabus topics are very minimum, and there are a lot of exposure and projects we need to carry out when you get into the industry. So the next thing is the SolidWorks. So first we'll discuss about the SolidWorks, what it is. As I said, it is manufactured by the Dassault system. So the main advantage of using the SolidWorks is the high parametric modeling. So when you compare, whoever, some of you might have used the CATIA V5. So when you use the CATIA V5 and you switch on to the SolidWorks, you will be getting a wider and many options to model. So this is the high parametric modeling, and the expansive features are very much included in this SolidWorks. That means when you prepare a small model or large model, whether it may be a small model or large model, the options you get will be very good and eco-friendly to operate, and there will not be any lagging, and the models will be reliable and stable, and which can be just converted into the other formats, STP formats or some other formats, and you can just use for the additive manufacturing also. So basically additive manufacturing is the part of just the same as the 3D printing, so that you can use. And the main disadvantage of this SolidWorks is, if the system crash, if while working your model, if the system crash, that crash will happen without the warning. So in the other softwares, if you take the AutoCAD or something, you will show up the pop-up like something is not responding and troubleshoot has to be taken care of. But in the SolidWorks, it is not happening like that, and you need to save it many times. Whenever you change your model, you need to save it. So this is main advantage, disadvantage of the SolidWorks, and this is how the SolidWorks part is looking like. So just I have taken one isometric view here. So this is the traditional drawing, CAD drawing, so with all the measurements. So using these options, many options are there in SolidWorks, so you can just make these models. And another example is this. So the same, you if you take the CAD drawings, you just implement that into the 3D modelings. So next is the Autodesk AutoCAD. So Autodesk is the company which has manufactured this software called AutoCAD. So this introduction to AutoCAD is very good. Reason number one is you can make the 2D and just you can convert that to the 3D part also. So in the CATIA V5 you can just make the 2D model, and if you can, if you want to just see it, you can just pan the option and rotate it. But in the AutoCAD you will get the 3D modeling also in the single software. And next comes the ANSYS space claim. So in the ANSYS space claim, the main purpose of using the ANSYS space claim is the edit product design is very good. When you compare that to the SolidWorks, you can make the product design in the ANSYS and you can analyze the product also. So both tasks are carried out in a single software, that is analysis software. So this is the pathway how you can use the analysis software. So first you need to generate the geometry of a CAD model. So I will show you how, for an example I will show you. So in this, the geometry in this ANSYS space model, or a direct the geometry model, you can make it, and next you can mesh it using the mesh creation option and using different ANSYS solvers. Let's say for example here we have shown the Fluent. You can use the CFX, you can use the static structure model, everything you can use, and you can analyze the product model. So this is the effect of uncertainty. The main purpose of using the ANSYS is you can make the product design in a single software using the geometry. You can mesh it, you can analyze it in a single software, and the uncertainty in the measurement or some error, if you make the thermal analysis or if you make the structural analysis using the FEM, so the uncertainty in this design is very minimum. So that is the main advantage of ANSYS. And the disadvantage of ANSYS is the software is very costly to get the original version and operate it on your system. So only the licensed version and the many professional versions you can include, but it takes a lot of time, and it charge very high amount to install these ANSYS softwares, but it is free for use in some websites. You can just download it and use. And next comes the MATLAB. The MATLAB software, the main advantage of this MATLAB software is the ease of usage. You can use it very clean and very eco-friendly, so you will get results very easily. So then it will tell you where you are making the mistakes, errors, so it will show up in the pop-up and the command window. So using that you can just recreate your the program, or recreate your the Simulink models, or you can make the alteration. And the device independent plotting, whenever you just give the example of let us say one quadratic equation or any equation. So for, let's say for example y equal to x square. So y equal to x square, how you will make the plot, that you can easily make in the MATLAB, and the plotting is very accurate. And this is the advantage of the MATLAB. So let us say for example in our aerospace industry, so we are using the MATLAB software to design this aircraft. So these are some parameters we are using. So these parameters, using these parameters, you need to make the programming. Either ways you can make the programming, or other ways you can use the Simulink model. Using that you can just make the Simulink model and you can analyze the results. So this is how the flight visualization takes place in the MATLAB. So when you use these parameters to get the results, either the result will be in a graphical format in the MATLAB coding, or when you use the Simulink model, in the flight visualization, you will get this type of the overview of the aircraft. So this is the main thing of the MATLAB. And some projects from last 1.5 year, I have worked around 75 to 80 projects. So these are some projects we are helping the students with, and we are making the CAD and the prototype fabrications. Especially, we have designed the UAV systems, so unmanned aerial vehicles for the surveillance and for the agricultures. And now we are doing these nanotechnology UAVs, that is nano models. So using those the technology, we can make the easy model. The main purpose of making these projects is for the final year students, whatever you have learned in your past 2 to 3 years, let us say leave it for the first year, second, third, and fourth year, whatever you have learned, the main idea of learning all those concepts is to apply in the fourth year and to get some productive result, whether it may be an academic project or it may be an your own project or many projects somewhat. But you need to use all those concepts, include the take the guidance of your lecturers or any person, and you need to implement that concept into the real time models. So if you are making an if you are already good in the aerodynamics, let's prepare one wing model which is very stable and very accurate and giving very efficient wing section, which is minimizing which is minimizing the drag and generating more lift. So why it is not possible? So like this, whatever you have learned, just apply in the fourth year just to make it a very good the project. So the main project what we have learned in the recent days are what we have done in recent days are the swirl stabilized combustor. So in the jet engines, to reduce the fuel consumption and to make it a very efficient engine, we are including one swirl combustor. So by modeling that combustor through the answers we have analyzed the thermal analysis, then we have generated one swirl combustor which is very efficient, and compared to the previous combustor what we are using, whether it may be annular or a different one, this combustor is very efficient to the extent of 20%. It is very good. So we have minimized the fuel consumption at least about the 20%, so that the weight of an aircraft will be less when you include the fuel. All these factors are related. So the design and review of the UAV, and we have already worked on the horizontal tail analysis of the aircraft. So these are all some preliminary design projects